भाई और बहनों, आज सरकार का जोर जनजातीय आर्ट्स को प्रमोट करने, जनजातीय युवाओं के स्किल को बढ़ाने पर भी है। इस बार के बजट में पारंपरिक कारीगरों के लिए पीएम विश्वकर्मा योजना शुरू करने की घोषणा भी की गई है। पीएम विश्वकर्मा के तहत आपको आर्थिक सहायता दी जाएगी, स्किल ट्रेनिंग दी जाएगी, अपने प्रोडक्ट की मार्केटिंग के लिए सपोर्ट किया जाएगा। इसका बहुत बड़ा लाभ हमारी युवा पीढ़ी को होने वाला है। और साथियों, ये प्रयास केवल कुछ एक क्षेत्रों तक सीमित नहीं है। हमारे देश में सैकड़ों आदिवासी समुदाय हैं। उनकी कितनी ही परंपराएं और हुनर ऐसे हैं जिनमें असीम संभावनाएं छिपी है। इसलिए देश में नए जनजातीय शोध संस्थान भी खोले जा रहे हैं। इन प्रयासों से ट्राइबल युवाओं के लिए अपने ही क्षेत्रों में नए अवसर बन रहे हैं। साथियों, जब मैं 20 साल पहले गुजरात का मुख्यमंत्री बना था तो मैंने वहां एक बात नोट की थी। वहां आदिवासी बेल्ट में जो भी स्कूल थे, इतना बड़ा आदिवासी समुदाय था, लेकिन पिछली सरकारों को आदिवासी क्षेत्रों में साइंस स्ट्रीम की स्कूलें बनाने में प्राथमिकता नहीं थी। अब सोचिए, जब आदिवासी बच्चा साइंस ही नहीं पढ़ेगा तो डॉक्टर इंजीनियर कैसे बनता? इस चुनौती का समाधान हमने उस पूरे बेल्ट में आदिवासी क्षेत्र के स्कूलों में साइंस की पढ़ाई का इंतजाम करके किया। आदिवासी बच्चे देश के किसी भी कोने में हो, उनकी शिक्षा, उनका भविष्य, ये मेरी प्राथमिकता है। आज देश में एकलव्य मॉडल आदिवासी विद्यालयों की संख्या में 5 गुना की वृद्धि हुई है। 2004 से 2014 के बीच 10 वर्षों में केवल 90 एकलव्य आदिवासी स्कूल खुले थे, लेकिन 2014 से 2022 तक इन 8 वर्षों में 500 से ज्यादा एकलव्य स्कूल स्वीकृत हुए हैं। वर्तमान में इनमें 400 से ज्यादा स्कूलों में पढ़ाई शुरू भी हो चुकी है। 1 लाख से ज्यादा जनजातीय छात्र छात्राएं इन नए स्कूलों में पढ़ाई भी करने लगे हैं। इस साल के बजट में ऐसे स्कूलों में करीब 40,000 से भी ज्यादा शिक्षकों और कर्मचारियों को भर्ती की भी घोषणा की गई है। अनुसूचित जनजाति के युवाओं को मिलने वाली स्कॉलरशिप में भी 2 गुने से ज्यादा की बढ़ोतरी की गई है। इसका लाभ 30 लाख विद्यार्थियों को मिल रहा है। साथियों, आदिवासी युवाओं को भाषा की बाधा के कारण बहुत दिक्कत का सामना करना पड़ता था, लेकिन नई राष्ट्रीय शिक्षा नीति में मातृभाषा में पढ़ाई के विकल्प को भी खोल दिए गए हैं। अब हमारे आदिवासी बच्चे, आदिवासी युवा अपनी भाषा में पढ़ सकेंगे, आगे बढ़ सकेंगे। साथियों, देश जब आखिरी पायदान पर खड़े व्यक्ति को अपनी प्राथमिकता देता है तो प्रगति के रास्ते अपने आप खुल जाते हैं। हमारी सरकार वंचितों को वरीयता, यही मंत्र को लेकर देश विकास के लिए नए आयाम छू रहा है। सरकार जिन आकांक्षी जिला, आकांक्षी ब्लॉक को विकसित करने का अभियान चला रही है, उसमें ज्यादातर आदिवासी बाहुल्य इलाके हैं। इस साल के बजट में अनुसूचित जनजातियों के लिए दिया जाने वाला बजट भी 2014 की तुलना में 5 गुना बढ़ा दिया गया है। आदिवासी क्षेत्रों में बेहतर आधुनिक इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर बनाया जा रहा है। आधुनिक कनेक्टिविटी बढ़ने से पर्यटन और आय के अवसर भी बढ़ रहे हैं। देश के हजारों गांव जो कभी वामपंथी उग्रवाद से प्रभावित थे, उन्हें अब 4G कनेक्टिविटी से जोड़ा जा रहा है। यानी जो युवा अलग थलग होने के कारण अलगाववाद के जाल में फंस जाते थे, वो अब इंटरनेट और इंफ्रा के जरिए मुख्य धारा से कनेक्ट हो रहे हैं। ये सबका साथ, सबका विकास, सबका विश्वास और सबका प्रयास, इसकी वो मुख्य धारा है जो दूर सुदूर देश के हर नागरिक तक पहुंच रही है। ये आदि और आधुनिकता के संगम की वो आहट है जिस पर नए भारत की बुलंद इमारत खड़ी होगी। साथियों, बीते 8-9 वर्षों में आदिवासी समाज की यात्रा इस बदलाव की साक्षी रही है कि देश कैसे समानता और समरसता को प्राथमिकता दे रहा है। आजादी के बाद 75 वर्षों में पहली बार देश का नेतृत्व एक आदिवासी के हाथ में है। पहली बार एक आदिवासी महिला राष्ट्रपति जी के रूप में सर्वोच्च पद पर भारत का गौरव बढ़ा रही है। पहली बार आज देश में आदिवासी इतिहास को इतनी पहचान मिल रही है। हम सब जानते हैं कि देश की आजादी की लड़ाई में हमारे जनजातीय समाज के उनका कितना बड़ा योगदान रहा है, कितनी बड़ी भूमिका निभाई थी। लेकिन दशकों तक इतिहास के उन स्वर्णिम अध्यायों पर, वीर वीरांगनाओं के उन बलिदानों पर पर्दा डालने के प्रयास होते हैं। अब अमृत महोत्सव में देश ने अतीत के उन भूले बिसरे अध्यायों को देश के सामने लाने का बीड़ा उठाया है।
News break coming in from Karnataka, where in fact the former Deputy Chief Minister has reiterated his CM ambitions. This is G. Parameshwara, a very senior Congress leader in the state, who has said now and confirmed that he very much will be a part of the CM face race. G. Parameshwara has said that everyone has a desire to become the Chief Minister, and so do I. Remember that the Congress is already facing a problem because Siddaramaiah and DKS have been going all out, seeking in fact to be named as the Congress's CM face. And amid that, you have another contender throwing his hat in the ring, and someone who's an extremely senior Congress leader at that. So this is the big breaking news that's coming in. Remember, earlier also G. Parameshwara had made his intentions clear when in fact he was meeting with CS and said very clearly that there should be in fact recognition of my seniority and I will be pushing to be made the Chief Minister. And now he's again said that I will be going ahead and pushing for that post. This will mean more trouble for the Congress. How far is G. Parameshwara really willing to go to fight for that kind of a CM face of the Congress? Will of course be something that we will be able to determine in some time from now. But G. Parameshwara, listen into exactly what he said.
Given an opportunity, I will also be a part of it. ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿಲ್ಲ ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಸರಿ ಅಲ್ಲೆಲ್ಲ ಆಸೆ ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಇರುತ್ತೆ ಆಸೆ ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಇರ್ತದೆ ಅನೇಕ ಸಂದರ್ಭದಲ್ಲಿ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದೇನೆ given an opportunity I will also be a part of it ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿಲ್ಲ ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಸರಿ
the deputy CM last time around, and if our government comes, he's sure to occupy a huge responsibility in the next government as well. So it also shows that the depth of leadership, right? Whereas BJP have the depth of leadership. Who is their CM candidate? Mr. Baswaraj Bommai himself became the CM just by falling at feet of a couple of leaders, state leaders. So, but here we have depth of leadership. There are a lot of people who are this thing, but ultimately all of them agree on one common thing, is that the High Command will decide who is going to be the CM.
In fact, G. Parameshwara making this comment, saying very clearly that he also has ambitions, wants to be the Chief Minister. Sagai Raj is joining us with more details on this. Sagai, another headache for the Congress. They can't afford to irk Parameshwara in any way. He's an extremely senior leader, has served as the party president in Karnataka, has been a former deputy chief minister in the state, is also a very prominent Dalit face for the party.
Absolutely, and they have to take everybody in good books when it comes to this particular election, because this particular election will decide the survival of Congress in the state of Karnataka, and that is the reason the Congress is full and out to fight against BJP in the state. And if you notice, this is not the first time Parameshwara have outspoken about his desire and ambition to be the next Chief Minister of Karnataka. He said that given a chance, even I want to be in the race, and there are more than 10 people who are already in the race, and it is the High Command which will take the decision. End of the sentence. They always say it is the High Command which takes the decision, but they try to throw the hat in the race.
All right, Sagai, I request you to stay on with me. Let's continue tracking all the latest updates that are coming in from Karnataka. Months to go for the elections, so political war of words now heating up between the BJP and the Congress. And it's over Tipu Sultan, despite, in fact, Tipu descendants coming out and saying that this kind of political bickering over Tipu must stop. It continues between the BJP and Congress. With just a few months to go for the election, this has become almost the #1 agenda. You had the Karnataka Education Minister days ago urging people to finish off Congress's Siddaramaiah, just like 17th century Mysore ruler Tipu Sultan was killed. The former Karnataka Chief Minister Siddaramaiah has now hit back at the Bommai government, has hit back at the Mantri here, attacking Ashwath Narayan for his comment. He asked him to stop instigating people, to stop, in fact, influencing them, intimidating them, and instead to get the gun himself. He went on to say that BJP leaders can't be trusted as they worship the murderer of Mahatma Gandhi. You've got AIMIM Chief Asaduddin Owaisi also now getting into this entire fight, hitting back at the BJP. He's thrown an open challenge at them. Owaisi saying that he isn't scared to take Tipu's name and that BJP is unsuccessful in eradicating corruption from the state.
ಮಾಜಿ ಸಿದ್ದರಾಮಯ್ಯ ಅವರನ್ನು ಟಿಪ್ಪು ಸುಲ್ತಾನ್ ರೀತಿ ಹೊಡೆದು ಹಾಕಬೇಕು. ಹೊಡೆದಾಕ್ಬೇಕಿದ್ರೆ ನೀವು ಹೊಡೆದಾಕಕ್ಕೆ ಬಿಡ್ತೀರಾ? ಹೊಡೆದಾಕಕ್ಕೆ ಬಿಡ್ತೀರಾ? ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಏನು ಹೇಳಿದ್ದೇನೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ, ಸಿದ್ದರಾಮಯ್ಯ ಕಾಂಗ್ರೆಸ್ ಸರ್ಕಾರಕ್ಕೆ ಬಂದ್ರೆ टिप्पू जागे के सिद्धरामैया बंदागे।
बीजेपी के अध्यक्ष ने कहा कि हम उनको मिटा देंगे, मार देंगे जो टीपू सुल्तान का नाम ले रहे हैं। मैं टीपू सुल्तान का नाम ले रहा हूं, क्या करोगे तुम? बोलो, मारोगे मुझे, मिटा दोगे मुझे? बोलो कहां पर आऊं कर्नाटक में मारने के लिए? आ जाओ। क्या देश के प्रधानमंत्री उनके प्रदेश के जो बीजेपी के लीडर हैं उनकी जबान से वो सहमत हैं कि टीपू सुल्तान का नाम लेगा हम मिटा देंगे, मार देंगे? अरे भाई, करप्शन का नाम लेने और करप्शन को मिटा नहीं पाए आप। 30% की सरकार आपकी है। ये तो ओपन कॉल है वायलेंस के लिए, ये तो ओपन कॉल है मर्डर और जेनोसाइड के लिए।
So what started this entire showdown? Let's get you details of what Karnataka's Minister Ashwath Narayan said 2 days ago.
ಇದನ್ನು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಮತ್ತೊಮ್ಮೆ ನಿಮಗೆಲ್ಲ ಕೇಳ್ಕೊಂಡು, ಇಲ್ಲರ ನಮ್ಮ ಸಿದ್ದರಾಮಯ್ಯರು ಟಿಪ್ಪು ಸುತ್ತರು ಸಿದ್ದರಾಮಯ್ಯ ಅವರು ಬಂದ್ಬಿಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಟಿಪ್ಪು 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 ಬೇಕಾ ಸಾವರ್ಕರ್ ಬೇಕಾ? ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ಟಿಪ್ಪು ಸುಲ್ತಾನ್ ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಕಳಿಸ್ಬೇಕು? ಉರಿಗೌಡ ನಂಜೇಗೌಡ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು? ಉರಿಗೌಡ ನಂಜೇಗೌಡರು ಏನ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು? ಹಂಗೆ ಇವ್ರನ್ನ ಹೊಡೆದಾಕ್ಬೇಕು.
Sagai Raj is joining us live with more details on the story. So Sagai, the political discourse in Karnataka is largely focused on the likes of Tipu Sultan, and the BJP and the Congress continue in fact this narrative despite warnings from even Tipu's family, from Tipu's descendants saying stop this kind of political slugfest.
Absolutely, they have openly spoke about this, and this is not the first time, Akshita, that they are requesting all these political parties to do politics in the name of Tipu. So leave us alone, leave us Tipu Sultan out of these kind of political slugfest between political parties. They claim that whatever it has happened, it is a part of history. But why you need to rake up this issue? Why political parties are trying to take political mileage out of this particular situation? And when we questioned the BJP yesterday why they are seeking votes on the communal lines, they said that there is nothing wrong in seeking the vote in the name of Rama and Hanuman. But when it comes to Tipu Sultan, he himself was communal. He was killing people, and they will continue to highlight this particular thing. But if you note, the Congress have hit out at BJP stating that they have to speak about the development, what the BJP has achieved in last 5 years or last 3 years when they were in power, and they should go out with the report card rather than speaking about Tipu Sultan and Savarkar. And now Ashwath Narayan has spoke about how he was being beaten up by two Gaudas in Mandya district, and said that even Siddaramaiah should be beaten up like that and chased out of Mandya. And this particular statement has not gone well with Siddaramaiah, where he has asked government to take suo motu and sack him from the ministry.
All right, we'll track the latest reactions that come in on this. Thanks for the moment, Sagai, for joining us. We've been seeing endless showdowns in Karnataka over Tipu Sultan. The communal rhetoric is only getting shriller over this issue. And this time it's Tipu Sultan versus Hanuman that's taken center stage. Why? Because BJP's Nalin Kumar Katil, yes, habitual offender there, claims that the ruling party's poll agenda will be to attack Tipu Sultan's legacy, spurring in fact a wave of reactions from the opposition.
Political drama over Tipu Sultan in Karnataka escalates. State BJP chief Nalin Kumar Katil stokes a fresh row, asks voters to choose either Ram and Hanuman or Tipu Sultan.
ನಾವು ರಾಮ ಭಕ್ತರು, ಆಂಜನೇಯನ ಭಕ್ತರು, ಆಂಜನೇಯನ ಕಾರ್ಯ ಮಾಡೋರು, ಆಂಜನೇಯನ ಅಭಿವೃದ್ಧಿ ಮಾಡೋರು. ನಾವು ಟಿಪ್ಪು ಸಂತಾನದವರಲ್ಲ, ಟಿಪ್ಪು ಸಂತಾನವನ್ನು ಮನೆ ಕಳಿಸೋರು. ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ಯಲಬುರ್ಗದ ಜನತೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಕೇಳ್ತಾರೆ, ನೀವು ಆಂಜನೇಯನನ್ನು ಪೂಜೆ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಾ, ಟಿಪ್ಪುವಿನ ಭಜನೆ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಾ? ಆಂಜನೇಯನ ಪೂಜೆ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಾ, ಟಿಪ್ಪುವಿನ ಭಜನೆ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಾ? ಹಾಗಾದ್ರೆ ಟಿಪ್ಪು ಭಜನೆಯನ್ನ ಮಾಡುವವರನ್ನ ಕಾಡಿಗೆ ಓಡಿಸ್ತೀರೋ ಇಲ್ವೋ?
Katil's statement is a second U-turn in 2 days. An advocate of hardline Hindutva, the BJP leader, had on Tuesday called for Vikas' narrative.
ಕುಮಾರಸ್ವಾಮಿ ಅವರಿಗೆ ಯಾವುದೋ ಸಮುದಾಯಕ್ಕೆ ಬೈಯುವಂಥದ್ದು, ಯಾವುದು ಸಿದ್ದರಾಮಣ್ಣನಾಗೆ ಟಿಪ್ಪುವಿನ ವಂಶಸ್ಥರು ನಾವು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ಕೊಂಡು ತಿರುಗುವಂಥದ್ದು ಬಿಜೆಪಿಗೆ ಅವಶ್ಯಕತೆಗಳಿಲ್ಲ. ನಾವು ನರೇಂದ್ರ ಮೋದಿಯವರ ಅಭಿವೃದ್ಧಿ ಕಾರ್ಯಗಳು, ಬೊಮ್ಮಾಯಿಯವರು ಯಡಿಯೂರಪ್ಪರು ಮಾಡಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಸಾಧನೆಗಳನ್ನು ಜನರ ಮುಂದೆ ಇಟ್ಕೊಂಡು ಹೋಗ್ತೀವಿ. ಅಭಿವೃದ್ಧಿಯ ಮಂತ್ರದ ಜೊತೆ ನಾವು ಕೆಲಸವನ್ನು ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. ಈ ಅಭಿವೃದ್ಧಿ ಕಾರ್ಯದ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಚರ್ಚೆ ಮಾಡೋಣ. ಈ ಚುನಾವಣೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಅಭಿವೃದ್ಧಿಯ ಮಂತ್ರ ಆಗಲಿ, ನಾವು ಅಭಿವೃದ್ಧಿ ಕಾರ್ಯಗಳನ್ನು ನಿಮ್ಮ ಮುಂದೆ ಇಡ್ತೀವಿ.
State BJP leaders are backing Katil's controversial remarks.
We are talking about the development also, and whatever the things have been done under, by the Honorable Prime Minister and his government, and here also Yediyurappa government and Bommai government. We are talking about those development schemes also. तो उसके बारे में भी आपको ध्यान देना चाहिए.
क्या है, राम के बारे में बात करना है तो क्रिमिनल होता है क्या? आप गलती मांग रहा है. हाँ, टिप्पू स्वयं मतांध है, स्वयं क्रिमिनल है. टिप्पू को सर्टिफिकेट देने की जरूरत नहीं है. उन्हें क्रूएल राजा था, उन्हें कब्जा करके कत्ल किया, लाखों लोगों को मार दिया.
The Congress is accusing Katil of attempting to polarize voters on religious lines.
He is a madman. He wanted to cover it. He wanted to take on emotions. We want to take on development.
See, this shows that Mr. Katil, as the president of the state unit of BJP, has nothing to showcase of this double engine sarkar, and hence they are going to use communalization and polarization as this election issue.
In between
Politics over Tipu Sultan continues despite threats by descendants of the 18th century Mysore ruler to file defamation suits.
Congress leaders, BJP wants to divide the leaders. This should be immediately stopped, or else our ancestors, our family members and other elders have thought to file a defamation case to stop all this immediately and not to bring any more Tipu Sultan name for your own polarizations.
Tipu Sultan, known as the Tiger of Mysore, fought the British tooth and nail and died fighting them. But he's also often described as a tyrant who committed atrocities against Hindus in Kodagu and Malabar region of Kerala. More than 200 years after his death, Tipu Sultan's legacy has become a hot political issue ahead of Karnataka Assembly elections this year. Bureau Report, India Today.
Big breaking news that's coming in from Kerala. We're focusing on the investigation in the Life Mission scam case as former Principal Secretary to Chief Minister Pinarayi Vijayan is in the dock. We're talking about the former Principal Secretary Shiv Shankar. The remand report submitted by ED in the PMLA court is with us here on India Today. And it particularly, in fact, has revealed some WhatsApp chats between M. Shiv Shankar and the other accused in this case, Swapna Suresh, who remember is also an accused in the solar scam. The remand report said that there's a larger nexus involving government representatives in the allocation of contract and generation of proceeds of crime via the upfront commission as a bribe. Shiv Shankar has been remanded to 5 days of ED custody. So there's details in the remand report mentioned by the ED in which they talk about WhatsApp messages exchanged between Shiv Shankar and Swapna Suresh. Shibi Mall is joining us with more details on this. Shibi, can you throw more light on what the ED has said about the evidence that they have against Shiv Shankar?
Well, Akshada, this is related to the Life Mission case. Life Mission is a flagship event of the Kerala government. So in 2019, when the scheme was launched to build houses for the people who lost their houses during the 2018 Kerala floods. So this was done using the Red Crescent organization, which is a non-profit organization, via the UAE consulate. Now we know Swapna Suresh was working with the UAE consulate during that time. In fact, Unitac Builders was given the contract, and now what happened is the Unitac Builders MD has said that to get the contract, some commission, some kickbacks were offered to some of the officers, and that includes Swapna Suresh and Sarith and all of these people who are also accused in the road smuggling and dollar smuggling case. Now, when they were questioned, they said that Shiv Shankar, who was the Principal Secretary to Chief Minister Pinarayi Vijayan during that time, had also a role in this. Now, that's what the ED has recently figured out. Now, the ED has been questioning him since the last 3 days when he was not cooperating with the ED officers is what we're understanding. So yesterday, day before yesterday, late night, ED recorded this arrest. And in the remand report, now they said that there are WhatsApp chats between Swapna Suresh as well as M. Shiv Shankar, which proves that there has been a role. He has a role in it because he clearly tells her that you need to be very careful when you're handling with the funds and everything. And he also goes on to say in the chat that Chief Minister Pinarayi Vijayan has asked to offer you a job here. The job will be a very low-profile job, but the salary will be double, is what the chat reveals. That's what ED has mentioned clearly in the remand report here. Now, the ED has said that considering the material evidences that we have collected, including the WhatsApp chats, it is very sure, the ED officers says that they're very sure that there is a larger nexus involved, which includes higher government authorities, which needs to be investigated. Now, M. Shiv Shankar here retired last month from the services, and he has now not been cooperating with the ED officers, what they're understanding. Now, the court has sent him into remand for the next 5 days. They will be questioning him in the coming days, is what they're understanding. Now, this has also led to political clash also, because when this incident took place, Shiv Shankar was the Principal Secretary to Chief Minister.
That's right. And there have also been allegations that he is an extremely close aide of Chief Minister Pinarayi Vijayan. Thanks, Shibi, for joining us with those details. The The IT heat on BBC offices continues for the third consecutive day. Over 40 hours and counting, the survey at the premises of the BBC in Delhi and Mumbai is still taking place. There's no official statement so far from the IT department on what's prompted the survey or details of what's happened so far. The company, meanwhile, has asked its India employees to be ready for questioning and to cooperate in the ongoing probe. Sources also revealed to India Today that BBC has asked employees to work from home until further notice. Security has also been beefed up outside BBC offices. This after Hindu Sena yesterday approached the office and chanted slogans like BBC Leave India. The political showdown also continues. AIMIM chief Asaduddin Owaisi hit out at the BJP, accusing the party of brazenly hounding those who speak the truth.
देखिए, हमारे देश में कोई भी बाहर की विदेशी ताकतें आकर हमारे देश की अपना शांति को खराब करने की कोशिश करेंगी तो ये अपना किसी के लिए भी सेहत के लिए ठीक नहीं है। और अभी जो अपना बीबीसी के कार्यालयों पर सारी एजेंसीज वहाँ पे अपना सर्च कर रही हैं। अब इसके बाद में कोई भी टिप्पणी उनके बाद ही अपना दे पाएंगे कि उसमें अपना सर्च में क्या निकलता है।
उन्होंने एक डॉक्यूमेंट्री बनाई मोदी साहब के बारे में और उनको यह एहसास दिलाया जा रहा है कि आपने डॉक्यूमेंट्री बनाई है इसलिए आपको सज़ा दी जाएगी। आज भारत के अंदर जो भी प्रधानमंत्री के खिलाफ, भारत सरकार के खिलाफ, बीजेपी की सरकार के खिलाफ बोलेगा उसकी ज़बान काट दी जाएगी, उसकी आवाज़ बंद कर दी जाएगी। ये एक मैसेज है जो दिया जा रहा है।
एडिटर्स गिल्ड ने, प्रेस काउंसिल ने इसका कंडेम किया है, मजम्मत की है इसकी, और सही उन्होंने डिसीजन लिया है। फ्रीडम ऑफ प्रेस, सहाफ़ी आज़ादी जमहूरियत की बका के लिए, जमहूरियत की जिंदा रहने के लिए बहुत ज़रूरी है। और इसका टाइमिंग देख लीजिए कि उन्होंने वीडियो निकाला गुजरात में जो 2002 में जेनोसाइड हुआ, उसको बैन लगाया आपने अंग्रेजों के बनाए हुए कानून के तहत, और उसके बाद आपने ये सर्वे या रेड क्या चल रहा है। तो इससे मैसेज क्या जा रहा है कि आप फ्रीडम ऑफ प्रेस नहीं चाहते हैं।
नेशनली बोल रहे हैं बीबीसी में जो आईटी की को लेकर सीएम ने नाराजगी जताई है। बोली कि उनका कहना ये है कि लीगल अगर कुछ होता है तो अच्छी बात है, बट इसके लिए पहले से नोटिस दे देनी चाहिए।
उनको वेट करना चाहिए ना, तो जब इंक्वायरी हो रही है, इंक्वायरी हो जाने दीजिए, उसके बाद वो बात कहें।
Now, amid the BBC showdown, Vice President Jagdeep Dhankar has slammed the information war, terming the dumping of information as a new form of invasion. The Vice President has called for bold and effective steps to neutralize it.
Vicious tendency has grown, particularly amongst so-called intelligence in our country, that anything coming from outside is sanctified, elevated, coming from minds that have to be respected. We have to question it.
Let's take this across to Amit Bharadwaj, who is joining us live from outside the BBC office in Delhi. So, Amit, third consecutive day that we're seeing currently, the searches continue. And there's been no communication so far from the IT department on when they're going to wrap up. What have been the findings so far?
Right, Akshita. Today is the third day of the Income Tax Department survey at the BBC office. In fact, right behind me is the BBC India office. This is the building in which on the 5th and 7th floor the BBC offices are located. Now, as you mentioned, there's no official communication from the Income Tax Department so far as to what has been the findings of the IT survey and what are the exact, non-compliances that have been done by the BBC. But what we are also learning from our sources right now is that the broadcasting staff, whether it be the TV broadcasting or the radio broadcasting staff, editorial staff, has been allowed to go inside the BBC office. So they are working as any normal day. And along with that, what we are also learning from our sources is that there has been no interference with the editorial work of the BBC in the past 3 days. But the matter of fact remains that for the past few days, the IT survey continues at the BBC offices in India, including the one in the national capital and in Mumbai. And we are yet to hear an official word from BBC London as well in this particular case. But sources have confirmed us that BBC headquarters have very clearly told BBC India employees
to not hide any details regarding
Yeah, they've been asked to cooperate completely with the investigation. Amit, thanks for joining us with that report. Let's shift our focus now to the other big story that we've been tracking here on India Today. Horrifying one from Tamil Nadu, where an army jawan was in fact beaten to death by a DMK councillor. Chinnasamy has been arrested, but mind you, there's been no action taken against him by the Dravida Munnetra Kazhagam, not even a word of condemnation that's come in so far from the Stalin government. Joining me here on India Today for an exclusive conversation is the BJP Tamil Nadu chief, K. Annamalai. Annamalai, vanakkam. Thank you for joining us here on India Today. I think what's happened in our state right now has got everyone in shock and obviously everyone extremely angry. First of all, what do you make of the state's response, or some say the lack of it really, in this particular case?
Madam Vanakkam, firstly I hung my head in shame as a Tamilian, as an Indian, that a person who is serving our country, putting his life in the service of others, is bludgeoned to death. And it shows the impunity with which DMK is defending the particular councillor. Especially in Tamil Nadu, it is nothing new, because with respect to DMK's mindset, and the same party has spoken about Dravidistan, the same party has spoken about a separate state. So by their nature, their respect for men in uniform, the respect for army personnel was never there. And this incident has clearly shown the government itself is also brazenly defending in a way. The incident happened on February 8th. Now, after yesterday's hue and cry, especially from the national media, which brought it to national attention, the local police were forced to arrest that councillor, which is after a good 6-7 days. Now the DMK spokesperson, one after the other, trying to defend their own councillor. This is what the whole India is seeing. But here, more importantly, madam, in this case, the whole village knows that they are serving in the Indian Army, has come on a holiday. It was a very trivial issue. And later the councillor, along with this group of people, he went in, attacked them with rods. He was admitted to a hospital. Even the treatment was not very properly given. Then later the army jawan passed away. In this case, I find fault with the local police also, because now DMK as a party, we all know how they behave. Now we all know how the government behaves. For the local police, it is their men in uniform. It is like their brother. And they also did not take it very seriously. They were also very casual. Now I really hang my head in shame that I am sitting in a national television in front of you, trying to talk about an issue that should never be spoken in the first place. Especially when I come to different parts of the country, I see the kind of respect a Jawan gets, the kind of respect society gives to him. But for Tamil Nadu, very unfortunately, over the long Dravidian politics, but somehow Jawans are seen as very alien. Somebody who is defending the country border is not seen one among us. That's a very sad state.
You know, that's a very strong statement that you made, Annamalai, saying that there's no sentiment to do with the uniform among the DMK. I want to bring your focus to how the DMKs reacted. We asked Mr. T.K. Zelangovan about this particular incident, and his response was that these kind of things happen.
Yeah, using the word called shocker is playing it down, because we keep seeing the kind of insensitivity they display. And the kind of brought up that many of the DMK senior leaders have. I kind of respect, therefore, the country as a whole, and especially for the men in uniform. They don't have that culture of appreciating somebody who is willing to lay down his life for the protection of our country. Some of it is never there because of 1949 culture, the way they spoke things in the parliament is just a manifestation. But here, I would like to bring your kind attention to an incident that happened about 4 months back. There was a CRPF Jawan who was in duty in CRPF somewhere near Bengal, Orissa. He put a Facebook post that India will always have one flag, when Tamil Nadu leaders were talking about something else. That same night, one of the alliance party of DMK, Vidudalai Chiritai Kachi, some 100 people barged into his house. Then when it came to our attention at about 12 in the night, the local BJP leaders and cadres, about 200 people, went to his house to defend the Jawan's parents from the VCK scandal. You will not even believe, madam. Some Jawan putting up a Facebook post somewhere about a country having one flag. The retaliation from their alliance partner going to that. Unfortunately, in this case, not even a single person is arrested. After we did a protest, that person got suspended. So I can give you issues after issues like that. The soldiers don't feel safe in Tamil Nadu in a way. It has come down to this level. Now, in this case, an army Jawan in duty, the whole village knows. Everybody knows he's an army. Even the councillor should be knowing, because that is his voting area. Even the councillor should be knowing. He's not. Still going out brazenly attacking. What kind of culture is this? What is the message we are giving out?
What's the mindset then, Annamalai? It's a larger question that I'm asking. Did the councillor think he would get away with murdering an army man? Did he think that, he can brazenly commit this kind of a killing in the army man's house, go into hiding, and this entire case, this entire killing would disappear?
A year back, one of the DMK MP in Kadalur, Mr. Ramesh, he murdered his own employee inside his cashew factory. He beat him to death in his hand. When BJP raised an issue, the MP was not arrested. He was allowed to go scot-free. After a month, he took an anticipatory bail, he came back. So this is the way DMK deals with his public representative. Anybody who is a public representative, whatever they do, DMK as a party, as a government, they go all the way to protect them. But this is very shameful. Protecting an MP for one whole month, the MP was absconding. Then this particular councillor for about 6-7 days absconding. In this case, it is much more grievous. Assaulting and killing an army personnel. Then after the national media picked it up, I really find fault with the local regional media also. Our media channels in Tamil Nadu also. This is an issue, not only a news issue. This is an issue that reflects the state as a whole. That reflects what kind of culture Tamil Nadu as a state we have. The whole of India is watching. I really find it very shameful.
I want to pick up that point that you've mentioned.
The media as an institution has failed.
I want to mention that point that you've spoken about, Annamalai. What stood out for me last evening when we covered the story on India Today is a number of comments on my social media timeline that said Tamil media didn't pick up this issue at all. There wasn't a shred of coverage on the story.
Yeah, very unfortunate. I keep talking this in the public forum also. Many of the news channels in Tamil Nadu are controlled by DIPR, the local government arm, which gives their budget. Anybody who is very critical of the government, immediately next month they don't get advertising budget. So unfortunately in Tamil Nadu, DMK not only owns channel, it is also trying to control other channels when they speak any news against the government. Very unfortunate, more like a gag order. I hope and pray that the media brothers and sisters sees this in a larger national perspective. They don't see it as some crime that happened somewhere where two people fought and one person died. This reflects the character of who we are as a state, as a nation. So very unfortunate. I hope and pray the DMK is in a back foot, the government is in a back foot. They're trying to do everything as we speak now. Our ex-servicemen wing, our brothers and sisters retired from army, whoever is in Tamil Nadu BJP with their uniform, with their medals, with their caps, they're in front of different collectorates across Tamil Nadu giving a memorandum. There is a major protest happening in Krishnagiri. 3 days from now, I'll be sitting in a one-day fast and war memorial along with all the senior retired army personnel in Tamil Nadu. Because this is the only way. It's not doing politics or anything. Here we are trying to build an awareness from ground up. We need to build awareness also to talk to them about what is the larger thing that concerns our nation. But we don't have either option. As a political party, we have to educate also sometimes.
Very often the thinking is that these kind of stories will stay on the news for a couple of days and then disappear. You've told us now that in 3 days from now, you're going to be sitting on a fast. Is it a larger message that you're intending to send across right now to the Stalin government, Annamalai, with this kind of a fast that you plan?
Ma'am, this issue we are not going to leave, madam. It's very simple. This is going to reflect who we are as Tamils, who we are as Tamil Nadu. The whole of India is watching us. And every single army soldier who's in the border, you should not feel bad that there is a colleague from Tamil Nadu who's serving with them in the high altitude or in a deep snow. He should not feel that his life will be under threat when he goes back to his state. So we are conveying a larger message that we are standing with every single army personnel. That is why we have called for a one-day fast. I'll be personally sitting from morning till evening in the war memorial, along with all the people from the civil society also, because a larger message has to go out, but we can't take things for granted anymore.
What do you think is the bare minimum that the government needs to do? This incident has happened. So far, the DMK is saying these things happen. But going beyond that, in response to this kind of a horrifying murder of an army man, a man serving our nation, being beaten to death in this manner, how do you think the government should have reacted?
One, the legal course of action, whatever legally we have to take action, that has to go. That is one parallel side, madam. That is the law and order, the crime side. But the larger message, the CM has to come out and apologize. One, for being the president of DMK, for the conduct of his party men. Second, to apologize to the Indian people and Tamil people for the way this issue was handled for the last 7-8 days. And immediate help for the army Jawan's family. and more importantly, giving a free hand to the police personnel so that this kind of incidents don't repeat. There was a CRPF Jawan incident 3-4 months back, middle of the night, his alliance members barging in to attack his father and mother because his son has put a Facebook post about country having a one national flag. I don't think in any other part of the country this can happen. Even then no FIR was filed. So CM has to come out and say that he stands with army, he stands with Jawans, he stands for what is right. CM cannot behave like a petty party member here. CM cannot display the party's ideology by saying, no, we don't respect for the Indian army because our concept in 1960-63 was for a different state. No. This is on a bare minimum. He has to come out, speak, seek apology, and make sure the wheels of justice is set in motion, madam.
Do you also believe that there's a larger issue here of a lack of law and order? You know, since the beginning of this chat, Annamalai, you have cited many instances of crimes that have taken place, particularly involving DMK members. And in almost all circumstances, the Dravida Munnetra Kazhagam hasn't spoken out, has chosen to completely ignore and maybe some cases push it under the carpet as well. Is there a law and order crisis right now in Tamil Nadu?
The DMK's mindset as a party is always, the moment they come to power, they take control of the police station. They're extremely good in doing that. Within a matter of months, they take control of a police station. All these things are outcome of the police not being fair or police having their hands tied because the local DMK chief of each district, he controls the transfer right up to a constable. So naturally, any crime that is done by a DMK personnel is a no-no for police. They don't even touch. That is why you see in the last 1 year, many issues India Today has picked it up. I'm talking of a shifting MP, DMK MP in Kadalur, killing his own employee, not arrested for 1 month. And he was allowed to go get a bail from court and come to pay. Right now is appearing in public functions. Not even a charge sheet will be filed. The same case now. So now the mindset of DMK taking control of the police, thereby strangulating the democracy itself is a larger area of concern. Right now with the age of social media, national television, it is being very visible. If you look at DMK's last time, 96 to 2001 or 2006 to 11, when they were in power, with much more atrocious. They used police station only to settle land disputes, where DMK is one party, public is other party. So now the issue is being discussed because that social media and national media is making it very big. They are taking up 10 years back, this would not be an issue. It would be buried there. So the DMK's mindset itself has to change with respect to maintaining law and order when they come to power, and when they are in opposition, how do they speak about it?
You know, Annamalai, as India Today, we've been covering this story from yesterday, and we've been ensuring that we put out the voices of the family members. It's heartbreaking, really, because my colleague Pramod is there. He's been speaking to the wife of Prabhu. She has a 4-month-old baby in her hands. She has a 3-year-old baby also with her. And there's been nothing done so far for the family. Annamalai, what's your message as the Tamil Nadu BJP president to the family of young Prabhu right now? Because they haven't received any assistance from the government.
Oh, we are taking care of that family member. As we speak now, our senior leaders are rushing towards their home. They'll be there any time. And we will be taking care of them monetarily. Whatever support is needed, BJP Tamil Nadu will be giving. That is, without a doubt, we will take care of them. Right up to the kids' education, everything will take care. But having said it, we have to fix up the larger issues. Family need not worry, madam. But whatever we tell them, we can't bring Prabhu back. We can't bring that army Jawan back. That is the larger issue at play here. But I'll be also visiting them once after the war memorial is over. We'll be visiting. We'll be standing with them, not now. Even 2 years from now, 3 years from now, whenever they want us. But the larger message as a society, how we have to function, as Tamils, how we have to talk about this kind of issues when it happens to our state, especially as a government, as a law and order machinery, how they should react when an army Jawan is in trouble. That is what really bothers me at this moment, ma'am.
I agree, and I really hope that in the next few hours, Chief Minister M.K. Stalin speaks out on this issue, expresses his condolences, and most importantly, helps out the family, helps out Prabhu's wife in every way that the government can right now. Thanks very much, Annamalai, for joining us here on India Today. The Tamil Nadu BJP president confirming that he is going to be starting a fast in 3 days from now in Chennai on this very issue to ensure justice for Prabhu, to send out a message also to our forces. And with that, I'm slipping into a very short break here on India Today. We'll be right back with lots more news and updates.
जैसे सबसे तेज आपकी टैगलाइन है, तो इसी तरह से सबसे तेज हमारी सरकार की लाइफलाइन है।
Thank Mr. Puri.
I thank you for giving me the chance to address you.
Terrorism now a global issue.
The First Lady position is so unusual.
Never in my career did I ever see that love and affection in any other country than we saw in India in 79.
Pakistan has been responsible chronically for association with sponsorship of terrorist groups.
Make your media plan smarter with India Today Live TV on your connected devices. Amplify your brand with 100 million smart internet viewers. To advertise, mail us at sales@aajtak.com. Make your media plan smarter with India Today Live TV on your connected devices. Amplify your brand with 100 million smart internet viewers. To advertise, mail us at sales@aajtak.com.
The clock is ticking close to 250 hours since the earthquake of the 7.8 magnitude struck Turkey and Syria. Rescue teams, in fact, haven't given up hope yet. They're still pulling out survivors alive from under the rubble. Here's a report of the miracle rescue of survivors from Turkey.
It's been more than a week, but rescue efforts continue in quake-hit Turkey. From under the rubble in Aadi, a 77-year-old woman was rescued 212 hours after a 7.8 magnitude earthquake struck Turkey and Syria. Fatma Gungor had been under the wreckage when the rescue team pulled her out. This 42-year-old woman was rescued 222 hours after being buried in the rubble of a building that collapsed in a devastating earthquake in Hanuman, Maharashtra. After 203 hours, this woman was rescued from the rubble of a building in the southern Turkish city of Aadi. International rescue teams, along with locals, have not given up hope, and they are still on their toes to rescue every life from under the rubble.
We arrived here in Haiti on Saturday, and since then we have not stopped seeing how there are people who are being rescued alive every day. So we think there's still a chance there are people below the rubble, and we should keep looking.
Not only human life, even pets are precious, like this furry best friend of a family that lost its home in the earthquake. The combined death toll in Turkey and Syria has crossed 41,000. UN authorities have said the focus of the aid effort has now shifted to helping people struggling without shelter or enough food in the bitter cold. But rescuers are still pulling survivors out more than a week after the quake hit. Bureau Report, India Today.
That's all we have time for on this broadcast. Thanks for tuning in. Joining you with the headlines in just a bit.
Armed with facts, she takes the news by its horns.
Do you think the future of these students are not hampered?
Fierce, bold and direct, setting the tone for the biggest stories. From every corner and every angle. Expect nothing but the unfiltered truth.
News first, niceties later. Watch me, Nabila Jamal, on India Today.
Stone pelting, houses attacked, and vehicles vandalized. Communal clashes erupted in Jharkhand's Palamu over Mahashivratri preparations. Violence took place after a group allegedly vandalized Toran Gate, a traditional decorative hanging built for the Shivratri festival.
सन्नाटा पसरा है पूरे इलाके में। सिर्फ और सिर्फ सुरक्षा कर्मी आपको दिखेंगे, लेकिन इस बात का प्रमाण भी दिखेगा कि उस वक्त किस तरह से ये पूरा इलाका जो है अशांति में तब्दील हो गया था। यहाँ देखिए ग्लासेस, विंडो पैन जो है उसको स्मैश कर दिया गया है, वो टूटे हुए हैं। इस गाड़ी का वही हाल है। इधर आप देखें, इस गाड़ी का भी वही हाल है।
The argument between the two communities escalated into a scuffle and soon both indulged in stone pelting, prompting intervention by police.
बड़ी मुश्किल से स्थिति को नियंत्रण में किया गया, जिसमें हमारे लेस्लीगंज एसडीपीओ, अफसर इंचार्ज और इंस्पेक्टर को चोटें आई है, 4 जवानों को भी चोट आई है, लेकिन हम लोग कंट्रोल किए, संयम बरतते हुए कंट्रोल करते।
Prohibitory orders are imposed in Panki and more than 100 personnel deployed to maintain peace. The police have managed to ensure peace, but the situation remains tense. Bureau Report, India Today.
Gift well with Sleep Well.
Good afternoon and welcome to the lunch break. I'm Pooja Shali. Let's quickly begin first with the headlines at the top of one. Tamil Nadu's Dravida Munnetra Karagam brazens it out after party councillor beat a soldier to death. Says these things happen everywhere. It's a small thing.
This is happening everywhere. This is happening everywhere. Yesterday in Uttar Pradesh there was a clash and a mother and daughter died. So everywhere it's happening. These are all small things.
Amid day 3 of the Income Tax Department search and survey at the BBC office, Vice President Jagdeep Dhankar alleges there's been an attempt to run down India's growth with doctored narratives and it cannot be allowed. Congress MP Rahul Gandhi submits detailed reply to the Lok Sabha Secretariat on the notices moved by the BJP over remarks against Prime Minister Modi and over the Aadi issue. Tipu Sultan tussle continues and in fact is escalating. Siddaramaiah now hits out at the BJP, calls Karnataka Mantri a demon for his trash Siddaramaiah remark. NCP leader Jitendra Awadh booked for attempt to murder after, along with aide, attacked Thane Municipal Corporation officer over raising of the property. A big story coming in from Kerala. It's been a massive revelation over the gold scam investigation that, remember, had been a huge showdown in Kerala. Now the key accused explosive conversation on the WhatsApp has been accessed by India Today. Now, the questions that emerge from that is whether Chief Minister Pinarayi Vijayan lobbied for accused Swapna Suresh. So in this conversation of the accused that has been accessed by us, and I am quoting a part of it, that the Chief this is mentioned in the chat. Chief Minister asked me to get a job for Swapna. This could possibly mean that Kerala Chief Minister's former aide is exposing any sort of conspiracy. This while a remand plea bombshell that's been accessed. We'll quickly get in more details on that and go across to Shibimol for the latest on that. Shibimol, how precisely is this WhatsApp conversation going to be used by the investigators and how does it land at the Chief Minister's door? Whose WhatsApp? What does it mean?
Pooja, in this particular case, now the main evidence that the ED is pointing out in the remand copy is the WhatsApp conversation between former Principal Secretary to Chief Minister Pinarayi Vijayan M. Shivshankar and one of the other accused in this particular case, the Life Mission scam case, Swapna Suresh, in which he asked her to be a little careful because if something goes wrong in the handling of this entire thing, the blame will be put on her. That's what he says, and then he goes on to say, Chief Minister has asked to offer you a job which will be a low-profile job, but the salary will be doubled, is what he says. Now, this is what the ED has highlighted, saying that Shivshankar has a role in this case. Now, this Life Mission case is in regards to the building of houses for the people who lost their homes in the 2018 Kerala floods. Now, the Life Mission project is a very ambitious project, a flagship event of the Kerala government that was launched in 2019 with the aid of an NGO in UAE. Now, this was being done via the UAE consulate, where Swapna Suresh was also an employee. Now, to get the contract of this project, a particular builders had offered kickbacks to the accused in the case. Now, that includes Shivshankar also, is what the ED is saying, and that's when the investigation, because the other accused in the case, Swapna Suresh as well as Sarit, all of them are also accused in the gold smuggling as well as the dollar smuggling case. Now, they said that Shivshankar had a role in this, and that's when he was investigated, and he was evading the questions in the last few days. Since the last 3 days, ED was questioning Shivshankar, but he was evading the questions. He was not cooperating, is what the ED officials said, and that's when they decided to arrest him. And now he has been sent to 5 days custody, and the remand report to get the custody of Shivshankar is where ED has said that these WhatsApp chats clearly indicate that he had a role in this. Remember, he was the Principal Secretary when this incident took place to Chief Minister Pinarayi Vijayan. He's a close aide of Chief Minister also, and this has also led to a political clash because while holding the office as
Shibimol, stay on with me because yes, we want to bring in more details and just reiterate for our viewers and remind them why this case has been so significant for Kerala politics. Investigation is on about the gold scam. So what you're looking at on your screens, read carefully, is that conversation. A remand report has been submitted by the ED in the PMLA court, and you can see that this conversation between Swapna Suresh and a former Chief Minister's aide as well, where they're discussing the WhatsApp messages which is of 2019. And Swapna, you should be careful. This conversation is happening between the two. Now, Siva also writes, don't get involved now. A sort of a cautionary message that has gone ahead. You will be blamed if things go wrong. The conversation that continues about what Swapna Suresh has also said. So she, of course, has taken note of what has been said, that she'll inform other two members who could be mutual acquaintances. But this is where he mentions it. He says, the Chief Minister asked me to get a job for you. Was this a message implying that there was trouble brewing already? And this is why it is Chief Minister Pinarayi Vijayan's door where this information has now landed up. Shibimol, so as we are reading out this conversation, appears to be definitely some caution that is being suggested, but also in a way, it looks like Shiva, who's been a close aide of the Chief Minister, saying that be cautious because it is the Chief Minister who's asked me to get a job for you. So they are also ensuring that it does not get the Chief Minister in the loop. Eventually it did.
Well, absolutely. In fact, M. Shivshankar mentioning Chief Minister asking. Now, in the remand copy, if we clearly observe, there has been no other place where this has been mentioned. But towards the end is where he goes on to say, CM has asked to get a job for you. Now, what exactly, why is Chief Minister asking him to get a job for her with double salaries, what the ED or the officials has to reveal here, because there's a lot of lack of clarity regarding that, whether he was aware of this, whether Chief Minister was aware of what was going on in a project that's a dream project, a flagship event of the local self-government of Kerala. Now, that's something that needs to be that's something we need a little more clarity on, because these are allegations and these are statements, is what the accused here, Swapna Suresh, has earlier said that, you know, Shivshankar had a role in it, is what she has earlier accused. But here, Chief Minister asking for a job. Now, there are also reports that Shivshankar earlier had said that since she has worked with IT firms here and she had a great profile, Chief Minister is really impressed with her work and he wants to take her into a government service, is what earlier some chat of Shiv Shankar had revealed. Now here, what exactly is what he meaning is something that we need to get more clarity on. Was he aware of what was going on? Was he aware of the scam that was going on? Because here, around 4 to 5 crore of kickback is what was offered to all the accused in the case, including M. Shiv Shankar, since he's a very close aide of Chief Minister Pinarayi Vijayan.
And Shibimol, isn't it correct? Just for the benefit of our viewers, this was a case that exploded specifically in 2020 in Kerala when the key accused, Swapna Suresh, said that not only just Pinarayi Vijayan but his whole family were aware about the gold smuggling through diplomatic baggage. Remember in 2020 when there were about 20 kilograms, if I'm correct, of gold that was recovered by the officials at the airport, and it was supposed to be meant for a consulate abroad, and that is when it completely blew out. So Shibimol, this time, because she's already mentioned the Chief Minister was aware, and with these WhatsApp conversations now coming in, this is not just about Chief Minister, this could actually become much more beyond it.
Well, absolutely. In fact, here in the ED's remand report also, what ED goes on to say is this includes a larger nexus. This can have a larger nexus of a lot of government authorities, high-profile government authorities. But here what we have to observe is these are two completely different cases. The gold smuggling, dollar smuggling case and the life mission scam cases are two different cases here. The life mission scam case came out in 2019, whereas the gold smuggling broke out. The gold smuggling case broke out in 2020. The 2019 case was, in fact, after the complaint was raised, Kerala government itself had had launched an investigation into the case, and later the CBI as well as the vigilance registered a case. And when
stay on with me, Shibimol, because of course it's become a political showdown for the state of Kerala. Opposition is all guns blazing. I'm joined on the phone line by BJP's KJ Alphonse, and from who's been, in fact, Mr. KJ Alphonse, when you look at these chats, does it indict the Chief Minister at all, or it could be about just a close aide discussing with the key accused, or do you think this correctly now can become much more about what the Chief Minister was aware about, even if not involved just yet?
See, it's very clear that the Chief Minister was involved and his office was deeply involved. After Shiv Shankar was the Principal Secretary to the Chief Minister. And you see, this entire thing is so much interlinked. The gold smuggling, I think about 22 times gold was smuggled into the country with the connivance of the Chief Minister's, Principal Secretary's assistants. And then, of course, all these diversion of money into various projects like the Life Mission, and where corruption was involved, bribing was involved, and money was recovered. So I don't think any of this can happen without the knowledge of the Chief Minister, active connivance of the Chief Minister's office, and I think it's very, very clear.
Sir, what do you have to say about how this is going to progress in the state of Kerala? Because this is going to be a huge political issue. It's about Chief Minister misusing his power, but it's not just the Chief Minister, it's the whole system there in the state that is currently in the question. And we're talking about India's image here. We're talking about close to state politics, but also with global repercussions. This was about smuggling to other nations.
Yeah, certainly. I mean, obviously it has global repercussions, the image of the country, because if a diplomatic channel was used for smuggling of gold into the country with the connivance of the Chief Minister's office, it speaks very poorly of India and India's image. And of course, there is a complete breakdown of administration as you see the Chief Minister's office being involved in the gold smuggling scandal, and the huge amount of money being paid to the Chief Minister's officials as bribe. I think all these points to a very sorry state.
There needs to be a statement that should come from Chief Minister, if at all, that could end and clarify any accusations against him that are rising. Do you think a clarification or a statement? Yes.
The Chief Minister needs to explain how all these things happened, and or he should say, well, I'm an idiot. I don't know what is happening in the state. I mean, he has the choices. Either he has to say, well, all this I knew. There is an involvement of my office, and so it should be investigated. Or he should say, I'm an idiot. I don't know what is happening in the state of Kerala. Either way, it's bad for him.
All right. So, of course, the BJP is all guns blazing against the government, but it's important. Will the Chief Minister give out a statement, clarify, ensure that there is an impartial investigation? So, even if these accusations are very serious, eventually it is because it is leading directly to the door of the Chief Minister. The southern state of Karnataka is an election-bound state, but everything is being discussed and debated apart from the civic issues on the ground. Now what has happened? The Bharatiya Janata Party and the Congress are locking horns over Tipu Sultan. Just few months to go for the high-stake election battle, but days after Karnataka's education minister urged people to finish off Congress leader Siddaramaiah, and now 17th century Mysore ruler Tipu Sultan was killed. That's what now the BJP is saying. The manner in which Tipu Sultan was finished, Siddaramaiah should be pushed out like that. The former Karnataka chief minister has hit back at Bommai government now, and specifically targeting Minister Ashwath Narayan. On this statement, he has said, "Stop instigating people and get the gun himself." He went on to say that BJP leaders cannot be trusted. They worship the murderer of Mahatma Gandhi. Now, AIMIM also has jumped in. Asaduddin Owaisi has also hit back at the BJP and throwing an open challenge. He said he's not scared to take Tipu Sultan's name and that BJP is unsuccessful in eradicating corruption from the state. That's why bringing out these issues. Karnataka minister's statement, however, has irked several other opposition parties. What did Ashwath Narayan say about Tipu Sultan that has become such a huge political issue in Karnataka?
ಇದನ್ನ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಮತ್ತೊಮ್ಮೆ ನಿಮಗೆಲ್ಲ ಕೇಳ್ಕೊಂಡು ಇಲ್ಲರ ನಮ್ಮ ಸಿದ್ದರಾಮಯ್ಯರು ಟಿಪ್ಪು ಸುತ್ತ ಸಿದ್ದರಾಮಯ್ಯ ಅವರು ಬಂದ್ಬಿಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಟಿಪ್ಪು 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 ಬೇಕಾ ಸಾವರ್ಕರ್ ಬೇಕಾ? ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ಟಿಪ್ಪು ಸುಲ್ತಾನ್ ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಕಳಿಸ್ಬೇಕು? ಉರಿಗೌಡ ನಂಜೇಗೌಡ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು? ಉರಿಗೌಡ ನಂಜೇಗೌಡರು ಏನ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು? ಹಂಗೆ ಇವ್ರನ್ನ ಹೊಡೆದಾಕ್ಬೇಕು. ಈ ರೀತಿ ಕಳಿಸ್ಕೊಡೋದ
ನನ್ನನ್ನ ಹೇಳಿರೋದು ಅವರು ಎಂತ ಅವರು ಮನುಷ್ಯರು ರಾಕ್ಷಸರು ಅಂತ ತಿಳ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ ನೀವು. ಮಾಜಿ ಸಿದ್ದರಾಮಯ್ಯ ಅವರನ್ನು ಟಿಪ್ಪು ಸುಲ್ತಾನ್ ರೀತಿ ಹೊಡೆದು ಹಾಕ್ಬೇಕು. ಹೊಡೆದಾಕ್ಬೇಕಿದ್ರೆ ಹೊಡೆದಾಕಕ್ ಬಿಡ್ತೀರಾ? ಹೊಡೆದಾಕಕ್ ಬಿಡ್ತೀರಾ? ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಏನ್ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದೇನೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ सिद्धरामैया कांग्रेस सरकार बंदरे टिप्पू जागे के सिद्धरामैया बंदागे।
बीजेपी के अध्यक्ष ने कहा कि हम उनको मिटा देंगे, मार देंगे जो टीपू सुल्तान का नाम ले रहे हैं। मैं टीपू सुल्तान का नाम ले रहा हूं, क्या करोगे तुम? बोलो, मारोगे मुझे? मिटा दोगे मुझे? बोलो कहां पर आऊं कर्नाटक में मारने के लिए? आ जाओ। क्या देश के प्रधानमंत्री उनके प्रदेश के जो बीजेपी के लीडर हैं उनकी जबान से वो सहमत हैं कि टीपू सुल्तान का नाम लेगा हम मिटा देंगे, मार देंगे? अरे भाई, करप्शन का नाम लेना, करप्शन को मिटा नहीं पाए आप। 30% की सरकार आपकी है। ये तो ओपन कॉल है वायलेंस के लिए, ये तो ओपन कॉल है मर्डर और जेनोसाइड के लिए।
So former Mysore ruler Tipu Sultan is back in eye of the storm, but there's also no end to the polarization. Communal rhetoric statements are only getting more shrill. This time, it's Tipu Sultan versus Lord Ram and Lord Hanuman. BJP's Nalin Katil is claiming that the ruling party's election agenda will be about Tipu Sultan's legacy, and it's got a wave of reactions coming in from all across. Here's a report on how Tipu Sultan is back for Karnataka elections and how.
Political drama over Tipu Sultan in Karnataka escalates. State BJP chief Nalin Kumar Katil stokes a fresh row, asks voters to choose either Ram and Hanuman or Tipu Sultan.
ನಾವು ರಾಮ ಭಕ್ತರು, ಆಂಜನೇಯನ ಭಕ್ತರು, ಆಂಜನೇಯನ ಕಾರ್ಯ ಮಾಡೋರು, ಆಂಜನೇಯನ ಅಭಿವೃದ್ಧಿ ಮಾಡೋರು. ನಾವು ಟಿಪ್ಪು ಸಂತಾನದವರಲ್ಲ. ಟಿಪ್ಪು ಸಂತಾನವನ್ನು ಮನೆ ಕಳಿಸೋರು. ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ಯಲಬುರ್ಗದ ಜನತೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಕೇಳ್ತಾರೆ, ನೀವು ಆಂಜನೇಯನನ್ನ ಪೂಜೆ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಾ, ಟಿಪ್ಪುವಿನ ಭಜನೆ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಾ? ಆಂಜನೇಯನ ಪೂಜೆ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಾ, ಟಿಪ್ಪುವಿನ ಭಜನೆ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಾ? ಹಾಗಾದ್ರೆ ಟಿಪ್ಪು ಭಜನೆಯನ್ನ ಮಾಡುವವರನ್ನ ಕಾಡಿಗೆ ಓಡಿಸ್ತೀರೋ ಇಲ್ಲವೋ?
Katil's statement is a second U-turn in 2 days. An advocate of hardline Hindutva, the BJP leader, had on Tuesday called for Vikas narrative.
ಕುಮಾರಸ್ವಾಮಿ ಅವರಿಗೆ ಯಾವುದೋ ಸಮುದಾಯಕ್ಕೆ ಬೈಯುವಂಥದ್ದು, ಯಾವುದೋ ಸಿದ್ದರಾಮಣ್ಣನಾಗೆ ಟಿಪ್ಪುವಿನ ವಂಶಸ್ಥರು ನಾವು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ಕೊಂಡು ತಿರುಗುವಂಥದ್ದು ಬಿಜೆಪಿಗೆ ಅವಶ್ಯಕತೆಗಳಿಲ್ಲ. ನಾವು ನರೇಂದ್ರ ಮೋದಿಯವರ ಅಭಿವೃದ್ಧಿ ಕಾರ್ಯಗಳು, ಬೊಮ್ಮಾಯಿಯವರು ಯಡಿಯೂರಪ್ಪರು ಮಾಡಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಸಾಧನೆಗಳನ್ನು ಜನರ ಮುಂದೆ ಇಟ್ಕೊಂಡು ಹೋಗ್ತೀವಿ. ಅಭಿವೃದ್ಧಿಯ ಮಂತ್ರದ ಜೊತೆ ನಾವು ಕೆಲಸವನ್ನು ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. ಈ ಅಭಿವೃದ್ಧಿ ಕಾರ್ಯದ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಚರ್ಚೆ ಮಾಡೋಣ. ಈ ಚುನಾವಣೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಅಭಿವೃದ್ಧಿಯ ಮಂತ್ರ ಆಗಲಿ, ನಾವು ಅಭಿವೃದ್ಧಿ ಕಾರ್ಯಗಳನ್ನು ನಿಮ್ಮ ಮುಂದೆ ಇಡ್ತೀವಿ.
State BJP leaders are backing Katil's controversial remarks.
We are talking about the development also.
And whatever the things have been done under, by the Honorable Prime Minister and his government, and here also Yediyurappa government and Bommai government. We are talking about those development schemes also. तो उसके बारे में भी आपको ध्यान देना चाहिए.
क्या है, राम के बारे में बात करना है तो क्रिमिनल होता है क्या? आप गलती मांग रहा है. हाँ, टिप्पू स्वयं मतांध है, स्वयं क्रिमिनल है. टिप्पू को सर्टिफिकेट देने की जरूरत नहीं है. उन्हें क्रूएल राजा था, उन्हें कब्जा करके कत्ल किया, लाखों लोगों को मार दिया.
The Congress is accusing Katil of attempting to polarize voters on religious lines.
He is a madman. He wanted to cover it. He wanted to take on emotions. We want to take on development.
See, this shows that Mr. Katil, as the president of the state unit of BJP, has nothing to showcase of this double-engine sarkar. And hence they are going to use communalization and polarization as this election issue.
Politics over Tipu Sultan continues despite threats by descendants of the 18th century Mysore ruler to file defamation suits.
Congress leaders, BJP wants to divide the leaders. This should be immediately stopped, or else our ancestors, our family members and other elders have thought to file a defamation case to stop all this immediately and not to bring any more Tipu Sultan name for your own polarizations.
Tipu Sultan, known as the Tiger of Mysore, fought the British tooth and nail and died fighting them. But he's also often described as a tyrant who committed atrocities against Hindus in Kodagu and Malabar region of Kerala. More than 200 years after his death, Tipu Sultan's legacy has become a hot political issue ahead of Karnataka Assembly elections this year. Bureau Report, India Today.
Let's get a live update from my colleague Sagai Raj, who's been tracking the latest on that. Sagai, clearly Tipu Sultan continues to be a constant for Karnataka elections, but this time it's definitely got more shrill. What exactly is happening on the ground, and how are people reacting to it as well? Because clearly if the netas are making a comment, they also know that there will be a section that will be, absorbing it, will be accepting this level of discourse.
Okay, thank you. Absolutely, Pooja. If you notice that Savarkar and Tipu Sultan's glory is not dying when it comes to Karnataka politics. It is getting resurrected every single day, and you get to get controversy every single day, and the controversy refuses to die in the state of Karnataka ahead of elections. And even in the past, we have seen that how the politicians are trying to take political mileage out of this particular controversy. But here in the people, the people of Karnataka are fed up of hearing about Tipu versus Savarkar, and we have seen that BJP has also said that yes, they will speak about the development, but nowhere we get to hear anything about the development. On the other side, the opposition is trying to get a mileage out of it, where they have called a press meet, and they have even addressed a press meet today targeting the government that they have not fulfilled the promises which was being made in the previous budget. But who is going to get benefit out of it? Only the election results will reveal whether the communal lines or the development which has actually converted all these controversies into votes.
All right, keep tracking all the latest on that, Sagai Raj, about how Tipu Sultan has returned for Karnataka elections and how. Absolutely shocking details continue to come from the Nikki Yadav murder case. The investigation is on, but there are details that are very disturbing that continues to now be verified. Remember, this was a Shraddha Walkar-like murder. The woman you're looking at, Nikki Yadav, was 22-year-old. And with the interrogation with the Delhi police officials, the live-in partner, Sahil Gehloot, was held by Delhi police on Tuesday and has given a confession that he in fact did murder Nikki Yadav. He's confessed that he strangulated her with a data cable, and all of this while in a public space inside a car. This was at the Kashmiri Gate bus stand, which is a very busy area. And this happened, as now we are being told information coming in, not overnight, but at 9 a.m. in the morning. And after the murder, he then drove for 40 kilometers with the body. It is known that after killing the woman and then also hiding the body in a refrigerator of the family dhaba located in the outskirts of a village. And then he went on to marry another woman on the same day that he had committed the murder. The family of Nikki Yadav is demanding now a death penalty for the accused. Investigation is currently on to gather more digital evidence, primarily to ensure this is a watertight case. Let's go on the ground for my colleague Himanshu Mishra for the latest on that. Himanshu, आप हमें बता रहे थे किस तरह से इन्वेस्टिगेशन हुई, कैसे पता लगा कि यही है साहिल गहलोत जिस पर एक्यूजेशंस आ रहा है, लेकिन किस तरह से इसको वाटर टाइट केस बनाने की जरूरत है, कन्फेशन में क्या कहा गया? और मुझे याद है जब हम कल बात कर रहे थे तो पहले इन्फॉर्मेशन ये आई थी प्राइमा फेसाई दैट ये रात का हादसा है, अब ये माना जा रहा है कि ये सुबह हुआ है।
बिल्कुल, देखिए, क्योंकि वो कोऑपरेट नहीं कर रहा, दिल्ली पुलिस का ये कहना है कि वो कोऑपरेट नहीं कर रहा, लेकिन जब उसके बयानों के बाद दिल्ली पुलिस ने तमाम सीसीटीवी फुटेज खंगालने शुरू किए, उसके मोबाइल की लोकेशन खंगालनी शुरू की, तो उसके बाद पुलिस ने जो टाइमलाइन बनाया उसके मुताबिक रात के तकरीबन 1 बजे, क्योंकि देखिए गुरुवार का दिन था, थर्सडे 9 फरवरी को उसकी सगाई थी, और उसके बाद फिर वो जब वो सगाई के बाद तकरीबन रात के 1 बजे वो अपने भाई की कार से, जो वरना कार है, उससे वो जाता है उत्तम नगर, वहां से निकी के साथ वो सुबह 5 बजे के करीब पहुंचता है निजामुद्दीन रेलवे स्टेशन, और वहां चूंकि निकी के पास गोवा की टिकट थी लेकिन इसके पास नहीं थी। पुलिस का यह कहना है कि जो अभी ये पूछताछ में बता रहा है कि ये कन्विंस हो गया था जाने के लिए निक्की के साथ, लेकिन ट्रेन की टिकट कंफर्म नहीं हुई, तो उसके बाद ये आगे बढ़ते हैं, आगे आनंद विहार जाते हैं। आनंद विहार इन्होंने ये तय किया कि हम हिमाचल चलते हैं, लेकिन हिमाचल की बस नहीं थी आनंद विहार से। फिर ये कश्मीरी गेट की तरफ आते हैं, और इस बीच लगातार जब फोन आने लगता है साहिल के घर से, तो साहिल ने, इसके बाद साहिल का झगड़ा हुआ और उसने इस मर्डर को अंजाम दिया। अब पुलिस के पास देखिए पूजा क्या क्या इंपॉर्टेंट एविडेंस अभी हैं। सबसे पहले तो पुलिस ने इस रास्तों के सीसीटीवी फुटेज इकट्ठा किए हैं, नंबर 1। नंबर 2, जो डाटा केबल है जिससे इसने हत्या की थी वो। तीसरी चीज, वो गाड़ी रिकवर कर ली है जो इसके भाई की थी, वरना कार जो लेकर के ये रात में गया था, और जिस गाड़ी में इसने मर्डर किया। उसके बाद वो फ्रिज पुलिस ने रिकवर कर लिया है इसके ढाबे से, जिसमें इसने बॉडी को रखा था, और अब जो पोस्टमार्टम रिपोर्ट आई है वो भी इसे सपोर्ट करती है। तो पुलिस का ये कहना है कि अभी तक उनके पास काफी एविडेंस साहिल के खिलाफ मौजूद है।
And remember, in this process, while the investigation, the details are still emerging, and of course, we'll wait for the probe to conclude. We remember talking about 2 women here, one who was killed, her family destroyed, but the one he got married to on the same day of the murder, and the horror that she must be also facing right now. Himanshu Mishra for all the latest. Thank you very much for now. Time for a quick break, but when I return, we have some cheetah news to bring you. Remember, it was in September that 8 cheetahs from Namibia were brought into India, and now India gears up to bring 12 more cheetahs from South Africa. They will be landing in India on Saturday.
Over 3 decades, Business Today has delivered news, views and analysis like no other. Now, Business Today presents the future.
Could I request Mr. Arun Puri, our Editor-in-Chief, to come up on the stage with the Finance Minister as we unveil the anniversary issue of Business Today. This is the 31st anniversary of India's #1 news magazine.
BT produces a cover with an AI avatar of Pichan on its 31st anniversary issue. Visit businesstoday.in/subscribe and subscribe now.
India gears up again to welcome more cheetahs in the Kuno National Park in Madhya Pradesh on 18th of February. 12 more cheetahs from Namibia will be reaching the Kuno National Park by a special aircraft, just like it happened on September 17th, which was Prime Minister Modi's birthday. These are the visuals on your screen from that day. Now, Minister Jyotiraditya Scindia has said that the Kuno Sanctuary will remain a shining star not only in the country but also abroad, because apart from Africa, cheetahs are found only in the Kuno area this time. Now, remember, these are the African cheetahs. And they have now been brought in, and with the hope that the 8 cheetahs that were brought earlier from Namibia have been able to survive, and that was very important for the succession also to continue. Now 12 more cheetahs as part of the Memorandum of Understanding are being brought in on 18th of February. So of course a big day that's likely to be expected. These big cats will be about, we are being told, about 7 males and 5 females will embark on this journey and in an Indian Air Force transport aircraft. Let's go across to India Today's Ashutosh as well. So Ashutosh, clearly a step 2 there, because it was about the first phase, and if they survive, then perhaps the next step would be taken, which is happening. What are the details that you're picking up? Go ahead, Ashutosh. All right, I'll get that line back on with my colleague Ashutosh Mishra. Will it be as grand, remember, as it had happened on the September 17th, but this time whether the Prime Minister will go or not to the Kuno National Park, that's not yet confirmed. But in September, remember, when 8 cheetahs from Namibia had been brought in, it was an Indian Air Force aircraft. Similarly, a transport aircraft likely will be flying off from South Africa on Friday evening and will be landing here in the country. There, of course, will be special transport aircraft then from either Delhi or Gwalior Airport for the Kuno National Park. We are being told that they are likely to first arrive at the Gwalior Air Force Base in Madhya Pradesh on Saturday morning, and then they will be transported to the Kuno National Park, which is about 165 kilometers away. So this journey will have to be, of course, precisely planned again. Ashutosh is back with us. Ashutosh, you were in Gwalior last time when the transport aircraft had landed in September. I was at the Kuno National Park. But is it going to be as grand, and will it be as precisely planned as well? 12 cheetahs. It's almost double the number. All right, so appears to be some audio issue, but of course we'll be getting you all the coverage as and when that happens at the Kuno National Park in Madhya Pradesh on Saturday. Time for a quick commercial break, but when I return, I take you to Turkey and Syria. 40,000 people and over estimated to have lost their life. But let me now bring you also miraculous stories of survivors. 1 week over, and still people are being rescued alive from under the concrete and debris. It's absolutely incredible. And remember, for non-stop working for rescue personnel, this means that there is still cheer and joy. Let's bring you that after a short break.
Bonnie Kapoor took to social media to announce that the biography on his late wife and actress Sridevi is in the works and will release later this year. Speaking about the same, he called his late wife a force of nature. Titled as The Life of a Legend, the book will feature the key aspects of Sridevi's life and career. It will be published by Westland Books. The actor had passed away in 2018, leaving a void in the industry. And on her 5th death anniversary, her popular film English Winglish is set to release in China. The drama marked Sridevi's comeback to films after a long hiatus of 15 years.
English tuition? I can come in?
You may not. You need to ask, may I come in?
English Winglish had gone on to become India's official entry to the Academy Awards in the Best Foreign Language Film category for 2013. The story of the film revolved around a housewife who decided to take up English lessons in the US after being mocked by her husband and daughter.
She was born to make laddus.
I, Shashi, from the India.
No, Sashi, not from the India. From India.
Why India, not the India? Why America, the United States of America?
In her illustrious filmic career, Sridevi had acted in as many as 300 films.
Nightmare quake bleeds Turkey. Death quake and devastation up close. Images of suffering, hope and redemption. Meet the heroes of Turkey's big rescue. Only Indian channel at ground zero.
Noise. The moment he heard something, every machine went silent. A lot of people whistled and that was the signal, and there was total silence.
Exclusive broadcast from Turkey.
This is the famous Bosphorus Bridge behind me. The bridge that connects Europe to Asia, and that's the Bosphorus Strait. Now this place usually is crowded. It's packed with tourists from Europe, Asia and perhaps across the world. But right now, it's not just the sky that's overcast. People here are depressed. After all, more than 37,000 people have lost their lives in this devastating earthquake. But while there is gloom, while there's despair, there are also stories of hope. Like this 77-year-old man who was rescued after being buried for more than 212 hours in the rubble. It's the army that had a special team, and several such teams have been deployed across the southern and central part of Turkey. They successfully rescued him. He's again been taken to hospital. But there's also another apprehension. The fear of PTSD, or post-traumatic stress disorder. Not just for those who were buried under the rubble, not just for those impacted by the earthquake, but also those who were engaged in the task of rescuing people.
It's been more than a week, but rescue efforts continue in quake-hit Turkey. From under the rubble in Aadi, a 77-year-old woman was rescued 212 hours after a 7.8 magnitude earthquake struck Turkey and Syria. Fatma Gungor had been under the wreckage when the rescue team pulled her out. This 42-year-old woman was rescued 222 hours after being buried in the rubble of a building that collapsed in a devastating earthquake in Kahramanmaraş. After 203 hours, this woman was rescued from the rubble of a building in the southern Turkish city of Aadi. International rescue teams, along with locals, have not given up hope, and they are still on their toes to rescue every life from under the rubble.
We arrived here in Haiti on Saturday, and since then we have not stopped seeing how there are people who are being rescued alive every day. So we think there's still a chance there are people below the rubble, and we should keep looking.
Not only human life, even pets are precious, like this furry best friend of a family that lost its home in the earthquake. The combined death toll in Turkey and Syria has crossed 41,000. UN authorities have said the focus of the aid effort has now shifted to helping people struggling without shelter or enough food in the bitter cold. But rescuers are still pulling survivors out more than a week after the quake hit. Bureau Report, India Today.
For rescue workers, it wasn't just a race against time. It was also an effort to keep the morale of those buried under the rubble high. And how did they do that? By constantly being in touch with them, by constantly communicating with them, speaking to them. In one such instance, firefighters in Aadi province, they spotted a man, a 65-year-old Syrian man, buried in the rubble. Piece by piece, they removed pieces of concrete, but they were in touch with him constantly. They kept boosting his morale, saying, "Don't worry, we see you, we spot you, talk to us, don't be scared, we will bring you out alive." In some instances, we've seen that ourselves. There is this fiber optic cable that they would put inside with a camera, light and a microphone for two-way communication, and that gave those who were buried in the rubble hope. Help was on its way. Take a look at this.
Nasser al-Waka sat crying for his wife and dead children, cradling baby clothes to his face. Rescue team has been able to pull out 2 of his children from under the debris. Another one too has survived, but Waka continues to wail.
This note is from Heba. This is Heba, my eldest daughter who died. It was around 4:10 a.m. The house shook. We are used to airstrikes. We are used to rockets, to barrel bombs. This is normal to us. But an earthquake, it's a God's act. This is the first time this happens with us.
Syria has been embroiled in civil war since 2011. This decade-long conflict has pushed many Syrians to seek refuge in different countries. Next-door neighbor Turkey has the most number of Syrian refugees. The 6 February earthquake hit the conflict zone of Syria and South Turkey the hardest.
I'm not sleeping at night, trying to provide for my kids. When the car shows up, 1,000 people in need rush to it. What would then be left for us? Should you stay with your kids to watch them, or you go to bring them back food? The situation is really bad.
The conflict politics is obstructing aid to quake-hit regions. On Thursday, an aid convoy from Syria's Kurdish-led region to earthquake-hit areas of the northwest was turned back.
We are standing at Jalad crossing, the 0 point. The convoy carries fuel and humanitarian aids such as blankets, which will be given to areas at northwest Syria. There are 30 fuel trucks which will be given to humanitarian organizations or the white helmets in the northwest of Syria. There will be another convoy that will cross towards the areas controlled by Syrian government, which will be distributed to our families who have suffered from earthquake.
The convoy attempted to go from a region held by the Kurdish-led Syrian Democratic Forces into an area under the control of Turkey-backed rebel factions. But 12-year-long enemies that have fought numerous bouts of conflict during the Syrian war stood in the way for relief at a grim moment.
We are actually shocked. It is astounding to us. Has delivering aid to people become a political issue? Or a crisis that we can't solve? Are we waiting for the sky to rain aid on us? We are Syrians, and we have announced that our territories and the whole area in northeast Syria is open for the entry of aid from any party whatsoever.
The Imam at the first Friday prayer since the tremors caused massive destruction couldn't hold his tears back. On ground, Syrian volunteer organizations White Helmets, busy in rescue and relief, are angry with the UN.
Let me describe to you the situation in an honest manner. The situation in Syria now is catastrophic. If we want to talk about the role of UN, we can say it's catastrophic. The UN should now apologize to the Syrian people for the lack of help it provided and for disappointing the Syrian people and for siding with the criminal in Syria and for leaving the people without food and shelter.
Though the UN is yet to respond to White Helmets' accusations, the International Organization for Migration said it was running out of stocks in northwest Syria and called to open more border crossings from Turkey to tide this hour of crisis.
Northwest Syria, where 90% of the population depends on humanitarian assistance, is a big concern. We have reached the people there. But we need to replenish our stocks. We are running out of stocks and we need access to bring new stocks in. The border crossing is open now. but we need to get new border crossings open.
Syrian President Bashar al-Assad and his wife visited the quake-hit areas on Friday.
They say that the West gave priority to politics over the humanitarian situation. But this is not true. To give priority to something over another, both situations must exist. As such, the political situation exists, but the humanitarian situation is non-existent for the West. The politicization of the situation is a normal thing, but the human feeling does not exist, neither now nor in the past. For 600 years, the Western occupation is based on the killing and looting of people.
But those working on ground since the first hours of the earthquake to rescue and help people are the reason that 5-year-old Ahmed today is the sole survivor of his family. They are the reason for Jama Biazid to find his year-and-a-half-old toddler amid chaos. Beyond the politics, conflict and complaints of lack of infrastructure and facilities, these rescue workers are working hard to save life from rubble. They are the Syrian heroes in this moment of crisis. Bureau Report, India Today.
Be it a 65-year-old man, a 2-year-old child, or this 13-year-old teenager rescued in Hatay, each story is that of sheer grit, determination, and the will to survive against all odds. According to emergency rescue workers, this 13-year-old teenager was actually smiling when health workers reached him. And they asked him, he had no hope, he had no food, no water, but what made him go on? He said he knew he would be taken out, he would survive because he has something to look forward to. We tell you more in this report.
Amid death, disaster and despair, and race to save lives from under massive piles of rubble, tales of miracle rescue, survival and hope. A 2-month-old baby was rescued from under the rubble in Turkey's Hatay on Saturday. The toddler remained buried under the massive chunks of concrete for 128 hours after the killer quake. After desperate search for survivors, rescue workers traced the baby and painstakingly brought the child out alive. As onlookers clapped, cheered, and shed tears of joy. Over life triumphing over death, the baby was immediately taken to the hospital for medical checks.
Geleceksin yanıma. Geleceksin yanıma. Gel.
A 9-year-old boy was pulled out alive from the ruins of a collapsed building in Turkey's Gaziantep nearly a week after the quake. Jubilant rescue workers whisking him away on a stretcher for treatment. Amidst the devastation, rescue teams from India and across the world continue to save as many lives as possible before it's too late. Earlier, a 19-year-old woman was rescued after spending over 120 hours under the rubble in Kahramanmaras. The woman was heard shouting, "I'm alive," when search teams managed to locate her. She was surrounded by rescuers before being taken to hospital on a stretcher. In another miracle rescue, a Spanish team dug out a 50-year-old woman who had been under the rubble of a collapsed building for over 144 hours. Thousands of rescue workers are scouring through flattened neighborhoods despite freezing weather. And tales of survival come as major morale boosters for these saviors. Bureau Report, India Today.
More More than 37,000 people have so far lost their lives, and as rescue workers continue with the task, this race against time to be able to rescue people on the 9th and the 10th day, each person rescued actually spurs the entire community to continue to fight on against all odds. That is all we have for you on this special broadcast from Istanbul in Turkey. Many thanks for watching. News and updates continue on India Today. Stay with us.
Make your media plan smarter with India Today Live TV on your connected devices. Amplify your brand with 100 million smart internet viewers. To advertise, mail us at sales@aajtak.com. Make your media plan smarter with India Today Live TV on your connected devices. Amplify your brand with 100 million smart internet viewers. To advertise, mail us at sales@aajtak.com.
There is a massive crisis that's unfolding in Pakistan, from food to fuel to all even essential items. People in Pakistan are now facing the brunt of a very high inflation. According to reports, for example, take a look on your screen. 1 liter of unpacked milk in Pakistan is now priced at 210 rupees, and it was 190 rupees until recently. 1 kilogram of chicken meat currently costs 700 to 780 Pakistan rupees. It was 650 rupees per kg last week. That's not all. So prices from, for example, 30 to 40 rupees per kg of a broiler chicken liver is now up to 480 rupees. That's the sudden jump that is being witnessed. But that is just fuel. What about fuel? Fuel prices are also burning hole in the pockets of the Pakistani Awam. We are being told hiked by 22 Pakistan rupees. Kerosene hiked by 12 Pakistan rupees. Amid this, a senior economist with the Moody's Analytics has said inflation in Pakistan could average 33% in the first half of 2023 before trending lower, and it will be a bailout which is expected from the International Monetary Fund, but alone that will very unlikely put the economy back on track very soon. But this, remember, is just the literal power crisis. What about the metaphorical power crisis with regard to the government and netas? A political slugfest with former Prime Minister and PTI Chief Imran Khan, who is staring at an arrest. And this, remember, with the door of the government also about what will they do before it could lead to a possible civil unrest. Let's try and understand directly from what's unfolding on the ground in Pakistan. I'm now joined in this live telecast with Pakistan senior journalist Owais Mangalwala. Owais, because the IMF has mandated a rate hike, there's been already a massive burden that is being faced by the government. What sort of an unrest are we looking at in Pakistan unfolding? Owais, go ahead.
Hello, thank you for having me. Well, if by unrest you mean that the people are on streets and they're protesting and all, no, nothing of such sort is happening, because people knew it was not something new. It was not coming in as a surprise, this mini budget and this whole price hike scenario and these taxes of 170 billion rupees. This was all expected because negotiations with IMF were going on, and we were expecting that this would happen. Ishaq Dar had announced this thing. The finance minister of Pakistan, he had announced this thing a few days ago that this will be happening. So there's no unrest kind of a thing, as if people are coming out on streets and saying that no, we do not want this and we do not support this. Obviously, when you ask people, nobody likes price hikes. If you ask the business community, they are saying that this will not help. The PTI chief Imran Khan, he has also said that IMF deal is just like treating cancer with aspirin. But we all know that financially Pakistan was in a difficult state. Pakistan was in a difficult situation, and the IMF deal was the only thing that could have helped us. So now this mini budget will unlock the IMF deal, and hopefully we will be on the right path now.
Of course, the expectation will be from the International Monetary Fund, and there are strict measures that the government is also taking. Always, what sort of measures are we looking at? Because, it could be a surrender in so many ways. You're depending solely as a nation on the monetary fund to bail out with the loan package.
Well, you can't say that it is a surrender to the IMF conditions. Yes, IMF deals in this way, and we all know this thing. And since I said earlier that we were all expecting this thing, it had to happen. Now, one important thing which is very necessary is that the government of Pakistan, the financial experts, they must now realize that we need to correct ourselves. One more thing that has happened is that the ministers will now be working without salaries or without pay. So that is also something very important and needs to be mentioned. So it is coming across as that now the government will be realizing that the financial condition of Pakistan is not good. We are going to IMF again and again, and this will not help. This is not helping us in the long term. So what we need to do is to take corrective measures, and we need to keep ourselves on track, especially the government spendings. That needs to be checked again and again. And if we manage to correct in this regard, if we manage to correct ourselves in this domain, then I think that this cloud has a silver lining, and Pakistan will be better off financially in a span of a few months.
Well, I surely hope there's some relief. And politics aside, Oves, what about the common people? Because they clearly would be facing a lot of problems and inconvenience right now with this inflation and measures. What is the government of Pakistan doing to ensure that there is some cushion to this blow?
That is a very important question, because the Aam Aadmi, the common man, is the most affected person on earth whenever price hike happens, wherever it happens. So what Pakistani government has done, they've taken 3 or 4 measures which will obviously help the common man. One thing is that price hike is there. We all know that the price of fuel has gone up, which will obviously affect everyone. But the essential items such as wheat, such as rice, meat, pulses and milk, all these have been exempted from the price hike. So there won't be a price hike in all these items. So this will be helpful for the common man. Then the other thing is that there's a Benazir income support program that is going on since quite a while in Pakistan, and this is basically a direct help program for the poor people. It provides cash support to the poor people. So the budget of that program has been increased. So that is also something which is very important, and the people who are the lower class or the lower middle class who are getting benefits from this Benazir income support program, they are going to get some more support. Then another thing that the government is doing is for the farmers, they will be given some really good loans on some really good conditions. So that will be helpful for them if they want to buy some equipment for their land or for cultivation. So that is also something which is being praised by the farmers community. Then the LCs, there was a problem of opening LCs, and the LCs were not being opened. So for fuel, for the pharmaceutical industry and for the sports industry, LCs will now be open. So this will also be helpful for the economy. So yes, there are quite a few things that the government has done, keeping in mind the price hike and its effects on the common person.
Right, all the very best, Owais, and our sympathies with the people of Pakistan who are facing this severe inflation that's ongoing, and we hope that the government finds a measure very soon. But this is what, remember, is the ground situation for the people. But the netas, meanwhile, or at least the anger against the netas is escalating, and on live television, there were abuses hurled. For example, at Pakistan leader Imran Khan. I cannot use the word on air, but you must listen to what was said.
रिस्पॉन्स मेरी तरफ क्यों नहीं लिया था भाई? 1 घंटे से मैं सुन रहा हूँ उनकी बकवास. ये सियासतदान है, ये सियासतदान है, ये इमरानडू है, इमरानडू है ये. रिस्पॉन्स मेरी तरफ क्यों नहीं लिया था भाई? 1 घंटे से मैं सुन रहा हूँ उनकी बकवास. ये सियासतदान है, ये सियासतदान है, ये इमरानडू है, इमरानडू है ये.
And perhaps a reminder for Pakistan that rather than ranting on Kashmir, should have focused on its own economy and its own people. Wrapping up this bulletin for now. Thank you so much for watching. Stay tuned. Lots more on the other side at 2.
Make your media plan smarter with India Today Live TV on your connected devices. Amplify your brand with 100 million smart internet viewers. To advertise, mail us at sales@aajtak.com.
Gift well with Sleep Well.
Good afternoon and welcome. You're watching The Lunch Break. I am Pooja Shali and we are cutting across directly to Prime Minister Narendra Modi speaking presently. Let's listen in to what PM Modi has to say.
अब मैं फ्यूचर ऑफ पावर उस कार्यक्रम में मुझे आने का मौका मिला था. 2012 में संस्थान की स्थापना के 75 वर्ष से जुड़ा कार्यक्रम हो. 2013 में संगम तीर्थधाम का कार्यक्रम हो. 2017 में ब्रह्मा कुमारी संस्थान का 80वां स्थापना दिवस हो, या फिर पिछले वर्ष आजादी के अमृत महोत्सव से जुड़ा स्वर्णिम भारत का कार्यक्रम हो. मैं जब भी आपके बीच आता हूं, आपका स्नेह, आपका ये अपनापन मुझे अभिभूत कर देता है. ब्रह्मा कुमारी से मेरा ये संबंध इसलिए भी खास है क्योंकि स्व से ऊपर उठकर समाज के लिए सर्वस्व समर्पित करना आप सभी के लिए आध्यात्मिक साधना का स्वरूप रहा है। साथियों, जन अभियान एक ऐसे समय में शुरू हो रहा है जब पानी की कमी को पूरे विश्व में भविष्य के संकट के रूप में देखा जा रहा है। 21वीं सदी में दुनिया इस बात की गंभीरता को समझ रही है कि हमारी धरती के पास जल संसाधन कितने सीमित है। इतनी बड़ी आबादी के कारण वाटर सिक्योरिटी भारत के लिए भी एक महत्वपूर्ण दायित्व है, हम सबकी साझी जिम्मेवारी है।